And yeah, we are live now. So,
Okay.
so how's it been going, Travis?
Oh, pretty good. I've been staying pretty busy lately. Um, Working with Steel Domain Wrestling here. I have a show coming up. Working for Aaron Corbin and and a couple other promotions as well. So yeah, I work a full time job plus I do wrestling on the side. So yeah, just staying busy, staying healthy, and all that good stuff. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. All right. Let's talk briefly about the start of your wrestling career, or where you got interested into wrestling.
Okay. Well, it goes back to 1990. Well, I was born in 80, and then I used to hate wrestling up until 1990. And then my next door neighbor, he was playing SummerSlam 1990. It was a Monday night on pay per view. I really didn't have anything to do, so I went over to my neighbor's house and I watched it. And ever since then, I was basically hooked. I mean, I was a huge Ultimate Warrior fan, a huge Hulk Hogan fan, and then a fan of Mr. Perfect and Bret Hart, stuff like that. Um, and I mean, I collected, everything WWF, I mean, every action figure. I mean, anything that I could get my hands on, and I knew that I had to be a wrestler, or at least to be in the wrestling business, in some way, shape, or form. So the year 1998 came around, and I was 18. So yeah, I know it seems like a long time ago, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so my dad, who was working in the Twin Cities at the time, because I'm from St. Cloud, so that's where I was born and raised. Um, he heard about a guy who had a wrestling camp. His name was Ken Patera, WWE superstar Ken Patera. He had a wrestling camp, and so me and my dad, we went down to go see his camp, which I think it was in Roseville at the time. So, and then during that time, I just helped out with some of his events and stuff like that. I helped to promote by hanging up posters, selling advertisements, stuff like that. So I kind of started in the business on the promoting side of things, and started to train with Ken. I was in the same class of trainees that had Matt Burns. So I trained with Ken Patera, Matt Burns, several others. You may or may have not heard of them. The Farmer, Shea Physique, Dirk Malibu, Jeremy Hallberg. He was in the same camp as well. So stayed with the camp, and I worked events for him in 1999, where we did 45 shows in 1 year. It
Oh,
was a pretty hot time for pro wrestling. And how I actually got into ring announcing was we were doing an outdoor show. It was in Regal, Minnesota, at this one um, music festival. It was called Cornstalk, which the whole thing, it was kind of a flop because I think they were expecting thousands of people there, but they only had probably about 100.
oh,
And the ring announcer, well, I was doing music on the show, and the ring announcer had to leave halfway through, so they were stuck for a ring announcer. And I filled in. I was doing music and the ring announcing at the same time. And I guess I did such a good job that they let their current ring announcer go, and they had me do it full time. So that's kind of something that I just kind of fell into. So wasn't expecting on being a ring announcer at all. Um, and so Patera's promotion eventually folded, and then I went to work for other promotions, including Terry Fox's MIW. That's who I actually finished my wrestling training with. So I actually have two trainers, Ken Patera and Terry Fox. So,
Okay.
and 20, 22 going on 23 years later, I'm still around. So yeah,
Hmm.
but I haven't wrestled in probably about a good 10 years. So
Okay.
so that
Yeah. Yeah.
that's how I got into the business. So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. I just realized I thought you were a former Steal the Make announcer, but then I looked back at like the videos and I've been at shows that you've been at. I'm like, how did I not realize this? So okay. I was like, I'm pretty sure you were like a few months ago. I saw you were in the ring. So yeah, my
yeah,
apologies for that. So yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, it's like, if you go to a lot of shows, or if you see a lot of shows, or do a lot of shows, after a while they all kind of blend together, kind of in a way, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Um. Uh. What did you take away from the most from each role, like ring announcing, wrestling, and refereeing?
Well, in a positive way or a negative way.
Oh, it could be both. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the thing with wrestling, okay, is there seems to be this like order as to the amount of respect that you get. Like if you're working for a promotion, I mean everybody's expendable to a point, uh, but ring announcers and referees seem to be more expendable, I guess you would say. Like I mean, everybody thinks that anybody can just get in there, referee or ring announce, do a good job at it. Which
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think that's true. I mean, a good ring announcer, well, a good or a bad ring announcer or referee can actually kind of make or break your show. With a lot of people, they don't seem to understand that. And um, um, well, I'll give you my opinion about wrestling. It was nice to receive that respect. Go out there, and only work for about 10 or 15 minutes. Um, you intend to get paid more, um, which which is kind of nice to get that higher rate of pay, and then only go out there for about 10 or 15 minutes, and be done, and then you can watch the rest of the show, or do whatever else. To ring announcing, of course, you have to be out there for the entire show. Um, Ring announcing actually takes the longest to prepare for. Then you got to be out there for the whole entire show, and I don't see how these ring announcers can, like for pay-per-views that last, several hours. I don't see how they sit out there without having to go to the bathroom.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
ring announcing definitely takes longer. Refereeing, you're more active, but you intend to receive, about the same rate of pay as you would, as a ring announcer, because there seems to be like pay if you take bumps or pay if you don't take bumps, which the non-taking or excuse me, the non-bumping pay seems to pay about half as much, and you don't receive as much notoriety as if you were in there taking bumps, like as a worker or a wrestler. So
Mhm.
both positions have their pros and cons, or I should say all three positions have their pros and cons. Um, but yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed doing all three. I would like to think that I've done all three things in the ring. I've wrestled, I've ring announced, and I've refereed, and I would like to think that I got in there and whatever I had to do here, I did it fairly well. So. Um,
Mhm.
Myself, I'm a perfectionist when it comes to my work and stuff like that. I don't like to mess up, and I just
Mhm.
like to go out, and give 110% every time. So it's a personal thing. Plus, it's also, I try and give 110%, for the fans as well. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. 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 You've for the shows that I've been to with you ring announcing, you've always done a pretty good job of announcing, and it's not, yeah, like you said, ring announcing isn't easy. You gotta make sure you get the crowd invested in everything, and just yeah, do your best. So yeah.
Well, thank you for that compliment. So I
Yeah,
really,
yeah. Um, what were the early days of Steel Domain Wrestling like in the early 2000s?
in the early 2000s. Well, okay, so St. Paul Championship Wrestling, because that's what Steel Domain used to be called. Okay,
Oh, okay.
it was called St. Paul Championship Wrestling, and they only ran out of the West St. Paul Armory. And so what had happened is the 45 network, the 45,
Yeah.
um,
Hmm.
they just started up and they were looking for shows, to add to their TV lineup. Um, Steel Domain Wrestling was offered a spot, or I should say, St. Paul Championship Wrestling was offered a spot Saturday afternoons at 2:00 p.m. And they are actually the first ones to go back on network television since Vern Gagne's AWA in the state. So when they got that deal, they started to make it a TV production, and they didn't want to stick with the name of St. Paul Championship Wrestling because it sounded too small. It sounded too regional. So with half the talent that they were using, they came from Chicago and they came from the Steel Domain School, and so that's where Steel Domain Wrestling. That's how they got their name. Uh, and so of course, we're talking about guys like Colt Cabana, Danny Dominion, Ace Steel, CM Punk, Brad Bradley, and a few others. They all came up from Chicago to do the events for Steel Domain Wrestling and the TV tapings, while those were the Chicago boys, and you had the Minnesota boys, which were guys like Magnus Maximus, Scotty Zappa, Primetime, Dan Jesser, and it just kind of goes on from there. I'm a Minnesota boy,
Hmm.
so the early days of Steel Domain Wrestling, I got brought in of February of 2001. That was my first Steel Domain show, and what I remember is the West St. Paul Armory. Was pretty packed. You had the stage lights and everything, which added probably about a good 10 degrees, to the temperature in the room. And for how they were taping events, they were trying to tape about 3 or 4 weeks worth of TV in one session. So, first night that I arrived there, I was a new guy. It was February 2001, and we literally had like 12 or 13 matches,
Hmm.
and it was getting kind of hot. People were getting a little bored. You can't really have an event that has 12 or 13 matches in it because, well, I guess on an independent level, because it's hard to keep the fans engaged.
Hmm.
So they eventually knocked that down to about 6 or 7 matches, and they started to run a little bit more often. And so, yeah, kind of similar to the type of Steel Domain show that you see nowadays. Um, I was there for the infamous CM Punk Ace Steel ladder match. I ring announced that one, and that is one of the matches that will probably go down in history as to one of the best matches that Steel Domain Wrestling has ever produced.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, yeah. It was cool. I think when I first heard of Steel Domain Wrestling and started going in 2017, I believe a few years later, I heard that CM Punk was the wrestler in that, and I thought it was pretty cool. And I just didn't think of it that he would be in that company because he was a Chicago guy, but it's cool that he did travel down to the St. Paul area and do some matches. So yeah.
Yeah, he used to come with the group of guys that came up from Chicago. It's it it's almost like you had a separation. It's like you had the Chicago guys, and then you had the Minnesota guys. And there was always kind of a separation, like even at the after parties, and whatnot. The Chicago guys seem to stick together. And the Minnesota guys, they seem to stick together. I mean, then the Chicago guys left. And then CM Punk came back one final time for kind of a final hurrah. Had an outstanding match, Colt Cabana, that actually the both of them ended up suplexing each other off the top of the soda machines in the West St. Paul Armory to a double count out. So they left with a bang. Colt Cabana, of course, came back to Steel Domain multiple times later, but that was the last time that CM Punk ever appeared in SDW.
Okay. I was Colt Cabana too, another great talent that came through Steel Domain, and now he's he's always done great stuff, but now he's on main company of AEW, and so is CM Punk, and they're both having some great memorable matches still. So yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
Most definitely.
All right. Which ring announcer was your ring announcing character inspired by?
Let's see here. Okay. Basically, like when I was called to ring announce, I didn't have any like formal training or anything like that. I just basically I went back or I recalled, like the things in my head that I kind of memorized, from Howard Finkel, or like a Mike McGurk, because I mean, growing up, after age 10, I was a big WWF fan. And so basically for how things are worded, for my sound, my approach, delivery, et cetera, basically starting out, I was basically imitating Howard Finkel, which I can do what nobody else can really do. I can do a perfect spot on Howard Finkel impersonation.
Oh, you can? Oh.
Yeah, I actually can. When I'm doing sound checks at shows, I might do it, like here and there, but I haven't done it during a show in many years. But it's I have heard that it's almost like when I do it, it's almost like the late Howard Finkel has been reincarnated. And I do a spot on Howard Finkel impersonation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when I've watched your ring announcing, I think now that you say it, I think I can kind of see that a little bit in you, the Howard Finkelness. So yeah. We talked about Steel the Man in the early 2000s, but just talk about the entire landscape of wrestling in the early 2000s in the Midwest territory.
Let's see here. Well, okay, let's see. Well, if I was going to compare the two, let's do in the late 90s and the early 2000s, professional wrestling, independent wrestling was a lot hotter of a thing to watch, or be a part of than it is now. You had bigger houses. It was was more mainstream. I mean, a lot more people were watching Raw. A lot more people were watching SmackDown. You know, back then you had ECW as well. So you had and you had WCW as well. So you had a lot of flavors to choose from, and it was a lot hotter back then than it is now. I mean, since then, of course, you know, WWE bought out WCW, and they bought the ECW name. Basically, they bought out everybody's name so they could get rights to all of their video catalogs, you know, whatnot, to produce their own version, you know, of that kind of a product, you know, or to produce, you know, DVDs, you know, about the AWA or ECW or whatever they want to do. So WWE bought out basically all of their competition, or they made them close. Then they bought out the rights, you know, at everybody's name. And so what kind of happened over the years is they didn't have any competition. Okay. And having competition, you know, makes your guys work harder, you know, makes you want to strive, you know, to create a better product because you're competing with, you know, someone else. They haven't had that competition in years. And now they have that competition with AEW. And it's a much different time now than it was 20 years ago. 20 years ago was a great time to be a wrestling fan. My God. I mean, 25 years ago, you had the Monday Night Wars, you had WCW trying to put, you know, WWF out of business. You had ECW in the mix too. I mean, it was just, if you were a fan back then, you were a definite winner. And I mean, I was a fan back then, and it's a much different time now. Do you want my real opinion about WWE right now?
Sure. Yeah. I think it'll match a lot of people's because we all definitely know what's going on.
Well, to me, WWE product is just hard to watch because it's like an insult to my intelligence.
Yeah.
It's cheesy. It's just you've got too many writers controlling things, you know, as to where back in the 80s and 90s, you really didn't have a team of writers, you know, that you know, had to listen to. I mean, things were somewhat scripted by a booking team, but it didn't seem like you were getting, like, in an hour's worth of time, 30 minutes of acted out vignettes followed by 7 minutes of wrestling, and then the rest, you know, are promos for their products or commercial breaks that are that you have to put in for the network, you know. And it's very watered down. It's very it's definitely TV PG. So
yeah.
And I've heard that they're pretty much well, I've heard the rumor about them selling out to Disney, and for their product right now, yeah, they would probably be perfect for a sale to Disney. But then you compare the two products, and it's like the two products, you know, if comparing WWE to AEW, they're almost two completely different things. One is AEW is for your serious wrestling fan, and WWE is basically for a bunch of kids. You know, it's a children's product. So it's far cry from the type of product that they produced about 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah. It just doesn't make sense what direction that Vince has it in, even for it being a PG show. Like, you just can't have, I don't know, these segments are just weird, and especially when the writers are writing this stuff, it just doesn't sound like the wrestlers are gonna go and like demolish you. It just sounds like they're just gonna like lightly tap you or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just doesn't sound good.
It's not very entertaining to me. I mean, I've tried to watch, WWE. Oh, phone moved. Oh,
Uh-oh.
there we go. Oh, we
Oh,
have
Jesse.
another. Jesse's gonna join.
Yeah.
Hey Travis, how you doing?
Oh, pretty good. How's it going?
Not too bad.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about the current landscape of WWE wrestling.
Yeah.
Which is not the best.
No, I just heard that AEW just purchased Ring of Honor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was a big announcement tonight from Tony Khan. So we'll see what they do with it.
Well, I hope to bring on some of the Ring of Honor guys. So
right.
I think those guys, are pretty deserving, of getting that opportunity, or whatnot. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I never would have thought that AEW would have bought another wrestling company, I mean, it was out of business, but to buy them and hopefully revamp it in a way that ROH was, it's definitely cool to hear.
Do you think that AEW acquiring the amount of talent that they are doing, or acquiring, do you think that could be the potential downfall of AEW, much like how WCW acquired a ton of talent back in the late 90s, and that amount of talent designed or added with mismanagement was the downfall of WCW. Do you think that that's going to be the downfall of AEW?
I think it could, because when they first started, they're getting all these guys, and they're still getting all these guys. I'm like, is it really AEW or is it just WWE now? So just with mixing talents, but I think it could. I think because all the time you hear who's the next guy going to AEW? It's not really like, oh, this match was better than this match and stuff. I feel like, well, the matches are talked about, but I feel like the next person joining AEW is talked about a lot more, which it really shouldn't be that way. Yeah, I think it definitely could be a downfall, but yes, we hope that it doesn't, and Tony steers it in the right direction. Yeah. Jess, you want to go with the question now that you're on? Oh.
Okay. Oh, he's gone.
Oh, just kick him out or something? What just happened?
I don't know.
Huh. That was weird. Okay. Yeah, I guess so. Let's go with another question then.
You can ask anything you want. You can even ask what my favorite color is if you want to.
Oh yeah, we can go with that. What is your favorite color?
My favorite color, and a lot of people would say that this isn't a color, but it's black. I mean, as you know, I got the black hat on, black shirt, black coffee mug. It's my Jason mug, by the way. Check this out.
Ooh. Oh yeah.
Fancy.
Oh, it's pretty nice.
So black, yeah. I prefer black because it's so simple. It's very slimming. And I could use a little bit of slimming right now. So, but yeah, what's your next question there?
Yeah. Actually, seeing some comments in the section right here in the comment section on Facebook. It's from Ken Reckinger. He says, well, first off, he says, "Hey, Travis." So,
hey, Ken.
And then second, he says he wants to hear the Howard Finkel impression, if you're willing to do that.
Okay. All right. Hey, are you ready? Okay.
Yeah.
it's kind of loud, so I'll try and do it without a microphone. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, making his way down the aisle, being accompanied to the ring by Paul Bearer from Death Valley, weighing 328 pounds, The Undertaker.
Oh, that is pretty good. Wow.
Yeah.
Howard's definitely got the distinctive voice, and to get it like that, it was really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's I used to imitate Finkel a lot back, way back in the day. Like, when I first started, like I would just do Finkel, and then people, they were like, "Oh my God, he sounds like Howard Finkel." Like if you look up the ladder match with CM Punk and Ace Steel on YouTube, you'll see a young 21-year-old Travis Sharpe doing Howard Finkel, basically. So the Howard Finkel, I can do it, but I can't do it for 3 hours straight because it's really hard on your vocal cords. Then you strain your vocal cords, and then you end up sounding scratchy in your voice for several days after the show. I mean, it's to the point now where my voice sounds a little strained all the time because I think that I calloused my vocal cords a lot.
Yeah. Ring announcing's definitely got to take a toll on not just like the physical body, but it's just got to like you really need your voice in order to have a great wrestling ring announcing voice. So definitely does take a lot of work.
Throughout the show, if you ever pay attention to me, I always have like hard candy on hand, so I can keep the vocal cords lubricated, and whatnot. A lot of times, and this kind of makes me mad sometimes, but you have to work with like really bad sound equipment, and so you're basically having to yell your lungs out just to be heard, because I've worked with some pretty bad sound equipment over the years. I mean, even down to like in a principal's office, when you have like that microphone that sits on the desk, and you push the button down. It's to speak. I've had to ring announce on one of those things once. So I've had some undesirable sound equipment that I've had to work with, and it's a pain in the butt, but you just have to kind of roll with the punches, and you have to make the best, what you've been given to work with. So,
right, yeah.
Well, Jesse's back.
Yeah, Jesse, is it working now, or?
I think so, a little bit. So we'll just keep on rolling here and see what happens.
Okay. Yeah, it seems clear right now. It's not crackling or anything, so that's a good start.
With the three of us here with these boxes, it's kind of like we're in the Brady Bunch intro. Like, all look at you.
Oh, yeah. The Brady Bunches are back.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Jesse, I can let you go with the question now.
Yeah, so okay, Travis, who was your favorite to announce for? Like, what company did you like to announce for?
Well, when it comes to most often, I would say Steel Domain Wrestling is probably the number one. Now, I say it's number one because it feels like it's home for me. I've been working there since 2001. I'm pretty good friends, Ed Hellier and a lot of the guys there and stuff like that. So of course, I work there the most often, so it feels like home. A couple others that I always enjoyed working for Heavy on Wrestling because I love Dave Sabick. He's a fantastic guy. I mean, we have gone to Vegas together and stuff like that. He's a great businessman, but he's also a good friend. I haven't seen him in a couple of years. I've seen on Facebook that he has lost literally like 2 people in poundage. He's gone from probably about close to 400 pounds down to about 200. So he lost a lot of weight. Getting his health on track, which that's really an inspiration to me because I mean I gotta lose about a good 100 pounds right now. It's my goal by December to lose 100 pounds, which I can do it. It's just I have to get proper motivation and whatnot, and I just have to carry it out. So SGW, Heavy on Wrestling, a lot of the older promotions that have been around. MIW, I used to do a lot of work for them in the past, haven't in the past few years, but I like, going back to work, for Terry Fox. Last time I was there, it just kind of felt like home. I mean, he is my trainer, so haven't been there in a few years. Would like to go back there, maybe say hello, but I'd say SDW, MIW, of course, Heavy on Wrestling is my favorite. Heavy on Wrestling shows they're a little bit stressful because you have a lot going on, but that's just because of the type of large production that they put on. But they're a lot of fun. And the people up there are just fantastic. Also the FLWA, those are always good shows to work. I mean, because with Sterling, I've known the guy for close to 25 years, and he's fantastic to work for. I mean, he always takes care of you and whatnot. So I'd say SDW, HOW, MIW, and FLWA are probably the top 4. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I've heard a little bit about the FLWA, and because we had Jay Soltis on, I believe, a number of weeks ago now, so he's talking a little bit about that and their start and their history a little bit. So, yeah.
When I first started, Jay Soltis, he was the referee with the Pantera. He was the main guy. So I've known this practically since I started. So Soltis, the senior official of Steel Domain Wrestling.
Yeah, that's like his whole title now when he's announced like the senior official of Steel Domain. Yeah.
And people must not like him.
Yeah, they boo him every time. I'm like, why are you booing the senior, man?
I don't know. It's just she there's no respect for seniors anymore.
Yeah, but then again, they also boo Jesse Johnson too. So
yeah, I mean, anybody with a striped shirt, that appears in an SW ring, people just can't stand it. I'm not sure if it's the stripes that just make people angry or what's going on.
Yeah. I hope they wouldn't boo you if you became a referee again.
Well, yeah, I would hope not, but they probably would.
Yeah. They're just like, the ref.
Yeah, the ref, he sucks. Oh, he's gonna. I mean, I get enough crap right now as a ring announcer, but
that's true. Yeah, I've heard some of the fan chants and how the crowd reacts to certain stuff. So,
well, they're there to voice their opinion and have a good time, you know. And so, you know,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna do
Yeah.
them. I'm gonna do me as a ring announcer, and yeah. So yeah,
Mhm.
what's the next
Yeah.
question? Guess you got another one.
Yeah, I'll let Jesse go again since he hasn't had many. Since you
So,
weren't
so Travis, when you wrestled, what was your most favorite match that you had?
Well, I've had a lot of favorites. Let's see here. You know, one that kind of comes to mind is, guys ever heard of a wrestler named Jeremy Hallberg?
I
I have
can't say
not.
I never have.
Okay. Well, he's a guy that I used to wrestle with, you know, that I got into the business with. He's from the Iron Range, you know, and any opportunity that I've really had, you know, to work with him, things just kind of flowed. Things were very natural. Things flowed. I've had a lot of singles matches, you know, against him. I have also tagged with him, and as far as tag team partners go, there was just this natural chemistry, this natural flow that I had, you know, with Jeremy Hallberg. I've had a lot of pretty decent matches in the ring. I would say, let's see, there was this tag team gimmick that I did back in Steel Domain Wrestling. This is probably actually December marks the 20th anniversary of the Malibu Sun Kings winning the Steel Domain Wrestling Tag Team Championship. It was the Malibu Sun Kings. It was a surfer tag team. It was me and Red Lightning pretending to be surfers from Malibu Beach, and of course, you know, I had a pretty decent tan at the time. Red had no tan at the time, and we actually obtained this. I don't know if you'd call it like a cult-like following, but we held the tag team championship with Steel Domain for about 6 months, and you know, for the people that have been following Steel Domain since it started, they always seem to remember the Malibu Sun Kings for some reason, which that's cool. And who knows? Maybe in the future you might see the Malibu Sun Kings return sometime, because after all, December is the 20th year anniversary of the Malibu Sun Kings, not only their debut, but them winning the SPW Tag Team Championship.
That would be pretty cool to see it.
Never know. You
Yeah.
never know what's going to happen. You really.
I think the fans would like to see it.
Yeah.
We got lots of tag teams in wrestling, in the Steel Domain Wrestling. So, yeah.
It's been 20 years, though. But anything can happen.
Right. Yeah. Definitely a lot of tag teams, and definitely a lot of tag teams that Steel Domain could bring to Steel Domain Wrestling too. So, yeah. The landscape of wrestling's changed a lot. So, yeah, and keeps changing. So,
Keeps evolving. You know, all sports evolve. Football, basketball. You know, so wrestling shouldn't be any different. You know, an example of sport evolving is the shot clock on a basketball hoop. That never used to be there.
Oh yeah.
So that's just an example of the sport evolving.
All right. Yeah. I'm looking at the comments. Ken Reckinger says he did boo at the last SDW. I'm assuming he booed you. So,
Well, let's ask Ken. Okay, all right, Ken, why did you boo me, or why do you boo me?
Yeah, Ken, why do you boo Travis?
Please explain. I work very hard out there, and to not only look the part, but to bring you all the hot and heavy action of Steel Domain Wrestling, and you boo me. Why do you boo me? Let's see if he responds.
I wonder if he'll respond in a sec. Or we can give him a sec to respond, but I'll go ahead with another question.
Sure.
Yeah, so you're talking about your opponents and such, but what are your memories of Travis Lee, and specifically, what are your memories of the Travis Lee versus Travis Sharpe match in the loser leaves SDW?
Travis Lee, okay. Well, that was my second SDW match. The first one was me versus Chi-Town Thug, which SDW had this show, I think it was Cottage Grove, where it was called Fan Fest. And it was when they were on the 45 network, they were getting good ratings. The attendance, was getting up there, was getting really good. They promoted a free show. And that's when I finally debuted as a wrestler. I mean, I was still a rookie. I was only wrestling for maybe like a year. Excuse me, burp there. So my second match was with Hasty Travis Lee and the loser leaves SGW match. Okay. Well, what I remember about that night, it was about 110 degrees in that freaking armory during that show. We were all just like, dude, it was seriously that hot because those armories don't have any air conditioning. And Tasty Travis Lee, like I had done several, other events, with him. We were friends back then. Good guy, former military. He was a good guy, always professional, very creative, knew what he was doing. He was a good talent in the ring. He took care of me and I took care of him. Things just kind of flowed, with us both. I think that's one of the more common SCW matches that if you want to see it on YouTube, it's on YouTube. I came up with that spot, about we were both running the ropes, and I stopped, and then he kept running the ropes, and he chased me around the ring. I created that spot where I ducked onto the ring, then he went to the other side, then I came off the opposite side and did a baseball kick. Got a nice SGW chant at the time, which was cool, especially, for a rookie like me starting out. But Travis Lee, I have no problem with Travis Lee. I mean, I've always really gotten along with the guy. The guy's a little bit different, but it's not a bad thing to be different and unique. So, Travis Lee, good guy, good talent, and yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah. Before we started this, I was watching a little bit of it, and it looked like a pretty good match and pretty evened out styles. So yeah.
I think they cut like 2 or 3 minutes out of it. Actually. I think so. I think for what you see, I think they cut something out of the middle of it. When we were editing tape down with Steel Domain Wrestling, to get shows ready for 45, a lot of stuff was cut out of matches, and that was just due to time constraints. So, has Ken responded with an answer yet?
Yeah, actually, well, he said he was booing Jesse Johnson, not you. I thought he was booing you.
Okay. Well, I don't blame him. I mean, I'm just kidding. I like Jesse. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there it goes with the fans, booing the referees. I mean, they should be more encouraging. I think that they should be more supportive because refereeing sometimes can be a really tough position.
Right. Yeah. Man, people are always booing Jesse all the time, and I would say I'm good friends with them on Facebook and stuff, and he's always a good guy. So I think
Yeah,
he deserves a little more respect.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, Jesse, I'll let you go with the question.
Yep, we got about time for probably one more question for Travis. Have you had any interactions with the system yet?
With the system, okay. Well, the system, he's been getting a lot of traction on the scene here about the past year or so. He's been cutting a lot of promos. It's very, very opinionated. Very skilled in the ring. No direct interaction with the system. I've had very few words with them, but the few words that I've had with them have been very encouraging. I'd say definitely one of the top guys on the local scene. Definitely. Just as far as his character, charisma, ring ability, he's definitely one of the best prospects that this state has currently, I would say, because you have to have a good mixture of different things. You can't be one. You can't be one dimensional. You have to have a good mix of things, to be successful. And yeah, he's doing a pretty damn good job so far. So, don't really have a lot of negative things to say about the system. Yeah, I think he's doing a great job, actually, and that's really kind of hard for me to say because over 22 years, you've seen a lot of people come and go. You've seen this guy, that guy. A lot of people just don't stick around. I mean, this is a very difficult business. So to maintain some kind of long-term longevity, it really takes something. And the number one thing is heart. You've got to have your heart into it, and that's just where it starts. So from what I've seen so far, guys doing a good job. Yeah, so what do you have to say about the system?
Yeah, it's a good thing that there hasn't been anything yet because I know over in MAW wrestling, Midwest All Star Wrestling, he gives the announcer over there a little bit of a hard time of Brian Sager. So hopefully,
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because
So are you saying that I should be on the lookout for the system to be giving me a hard time maybe in the future?
possibly. Hopefully he doesn't, but I mean, he is the system. He has his own personality and likeness, so I can
And he's
only
supposed to trust the system.
or
That's
trust.
again.
Yeah. I think if you trust the system, you'll be okay.
For
Mm-hmm.
now, I will trust the system.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all we got. Well, before we go, yeah. So you sent. I think earlier today I received the photos, the autographed photos that you gave me. So I'm right now I'm looking through the comments and likes on both Instagram and Facebook, and right now I see. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah.
There it is, right there.
Yeah. It's a
See if
great
I can
headshot
see.
right there. Yeah, I think right now I got a random name picker up here. We'll spin that and give people a chance to win a Travis Sharpe autograph 8x10. So let's spin. Well, actually, I could probably share the screen so we could all see that.
Okay. Are you going to pick a name now?
I'm gonna share the time picker screen and then we'll do it right here.
Ooh.
So believe we got 3 names on the board here, and believe,
Okay.
yeah. All right, let's
You get,
click the
ah,
spin.
feels like I'm on Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
Big money, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy, and stop.
Scott. Is it Scott? Oh, Ryan won. Okay.
Ryan, congratulations. You won an autographed picture of me. Frame not included.
All right, I'll make sure he gets that. Ryan's actually my uncle, so it'll be kind of cool to tell him. So,
Uncle Ryan, congratulations.
okay, sorry. Yeah. All right. Yeah, walls are thin in here, so I'll make sure to be quiet. All right. Yeah. So that was. I'll remove that. All righty.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, Ryan. I'll make sure Ryan gets that, and yeah, I think that'll conclude the show. That is Travis Sharpe. Are you going to be at the next Steal the Main event then?
You betcha.
Okay.
I will be there. What is it, April 29th? Or the 28th?
I believe that's the next one. Yeah.
The last Friday of April. I will be at Steal the Main Wrestling. Plus, I will be at the Trinity Rumble on March 25th. Stop down there in Faribault for more info.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. I think he froze.
Yeah. Looks like.
Uh-oh.
Did he freeze up?
Yeah, he's the only one that froze. You're fine. I don't. Uh-oh. Maybe we should give it a second.
I think we lost Travis.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, he literally felt the screen froze as he's looking like he's falling asleep right now. I don't know. Should we give it a second or?
Yeah, we can give him a few.
Okay. That's. Yeah, I froze in the middle too.
I don't know. Did he click off or?
I think he might have. Yeah. I guess. Okay. Should we wait until he comes back, or should we just end it?
Yeah, I mean, everything in the beginning when I got on was kind of crackly. Then you could barely hear Travis, so I don't know if that was on his end or if it was on our end. But we'll maybe Friday night we can tool around with it, just me and you, and see if we can get it to be crystal before we bring Cody on, because we don't want that issue again.
Yeah. I'm surprised it was as crackly as it was for you, but yeah.
Well, yeah, like I said, I mean, I had a hard time hearing